Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a while, so today we're building my 2023 gaming PC. So we're starting off with the motherboard, and the motherboard we're using is a Gigabyte Aorus Z790 Elite AX. It's a DDR5 motherboard, a PCIe Gen 5, and it's good for overclocking. Very cheap compared to the Maximus Hero that I was running on me last build. Trying to save money where I can. At the end of the day, motherboard's a motherboard. And I'm not all about aesthetic this time, it's just about what works best for me. So we've taken out the motherboard, and inside we have the antennae for the Wi-Fi, but we're going to be using Ethernet anyways. We have a little thing for all the front panel I/O, which I completely forgot about when building. And we've got, I think, a SATA cable there, but we're not running that, we're going to be running M.2, so don't worry about that. And two generic Gigabyte manuals. Very generic. Again, you get what you pay for. I mean, not being funny, but this motherboard is a third of the price of the Maximus Hero motherboard, which is my favorite. But you get what you pay for. It's all the same thing at the end of the day. So look, as you can see, one manual for everything. So when you're building a PC, you want to close the box and build on top of the box. So as you can see, we're closing the box. Again, as I mentioned, DDR5, PCIe Gen 5, everything you need is basically future-proof. So we've now put it on there, very heavy. I mean, I'm wearing gloves as well because, you know, when you're building these computers, no matter how many times you do it, this is my second time, your hands get so sweaty and so nervous. Look, as you can see, I'm trying to open the bag here, and look how, I mean, this is too delicate for me. I'm not being funny. Here, right now, I'm sweating. And like a moron, I use a knife. Could have damaged the motherboard, but we're all good, we're all good. So we're now going to try and slide this out. I mean, it's just, looking back, it's quite embarrassing how I'm doing this. Very delicate. It's a bit too delicate. And look, I don't even want to pull it out because I'm worried I'm going to snap the motherboard, even though these things are very strong. So we try this really awkward way of pulling it out, and then I pull it from the top like that, and I'm literally wincing in this video as I'm pulling it out. Look, very delicate. Very delicate. And we finally, after a bit of messing around, pull it out, and just look at this motherboard. It's got everything you need. It's pretty much future-proof. And now we grab the CPU. So we are running the i9-13900KF, and we overclocked it to 5.6 GHz on the P cores and 4.5 GHz on the E cores because it's going to be water-cooled. It is water-cooled. Now I went for the 1900KF because it's cheaper than the K. Now a lot of people ask what's the difference. Well, the difference is this doesn't have the integrated graphics. You don't need it if you're running a graphics card, which I am anyways, so you save a good £100 there alone because you don't need that, and they're the ones to go to when overclocking. I'm not running standard stock. So we open the box, and now this bit makes me nervous every time. Look how delicate I'm being with the pins there, and we're going to put in the CPU. Just a little put it back down because I just don't want to bend the pins. So I think I've cut this to make it look more professional. I'm just messing about here. We take it, yeah, I cropped it. We take it out. Watch how I do this. I'm pointing to tell you guys, look, yeah, we're gonna put this in here. So we open it up, and I take a deep breath here now. Very delicate, as you can see. It takes me 3 times to adjust my fingers and how I want to hold it to put it in. Look at that, very delicate. We finally get it, and I'm deciding, how do I want to put it in? Do I want to put it in with my left hand, my right hand? What works for me? We're moving the motherboard around. You can see a little tremble in my hands because this is the scary bit. This is always, so we go this way. Now these have these little notches on it, so it's easier to line up. So we look again, messing about with the fingers, trying to figure out where. A little bit of it. Look, you can see the shake in my hand. So we go in from the top. We line up the top bit. Look, and we drop it, and it goes in first time. First time this time. Very proud to say, first time. Now I edit this because normally you pull it down and you put the lever down, it comes out. It wasn't, so this time I took it out. I was kind of panicking reading the manual. So look, we line it up, we push it down. This bit's always a bit nerve-wracking though, isn't it? Because it's either in or it ain't. It is in. It's perfectly lined up. We push it down. You can see the gloves are quite hugging because of the sweat underneath those gloves is atrocious. You know, we're sweating, but we're in. Thumbs up, all good to go. So next we're going with the RAM. So we went for 32 gigs of RAM 2 instead of 4 slots this time. You know, save money on DDR5. We're running 6000 megahertz. It's the G-Skill Trident Z5. Again, a little bit of 2 bullet points there. 32 gigs, DDR5 at 6000 megahertz. So we're on doing them. Again, why did I go for 2? Because 32 gigs is more than enough. At the end of the day, you try and save money where you can as well. We line up the second and fourth slots, and I thought I lined them up correctly. I mean, it looks bright on the camera, but it was dark. You couldn't see, and I was struggling to line up even though I got all this lighting. So we're giving it a push and realised, oh, wrong way. Now, I've seen a video of somebody pushing the RAM, and he completely snaps the stick. So, again, this is another thing that was quite nerve-wracking for me. In the end, we managed to put it in, and you'll hear a nice little clip. Bang, in. Making sure, look. Making sure again. And that is the first stick, and now we are doing the second stick. We've lined up the sticks. Again, lined this one up the wrong way as well, I believe. I thought this was going to be a lot easier to build this time around than the first time. I'm not a novice. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, look, see? Yeah, see, pushing it, not lining up. I'm like, what's going on? Worried that I'm going to snap the RAM slot. And I think we now got it in. Have we got it in? Yeah, we've got it in. So this time, I mean, these are all the easier parts relative to our build. Now, we got a massive heatsink on the first slot for the M.2. We went with 1 TB Samsung 980 EVO. 1 TB, to be honest, is more than enough for what I'm using. This is a complete gaming PC for sim racing. I don't need more than 500 gigs, to be honest. So we went safe side. There was a great deal on this as well with all the Christmas deals and Friday deals. So we got this relatively cheap. Fat heatsink as well. PCI is Gen 4, not Gen 5. Gen 5 is not even out yet. Gen 4 is more than what you need. So we're unscrewing it. We've taken the gloves off now because we thought we were at the end of it now. But now when I built the motherboard a long time ago, they didn't have they have these now quick releases. Normally it was a screw before, so this is the first time I'm doing that, and you'll see me struggle. I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on the RAM on the memory to put it in with that quick release thing. You got to push it down, and it just feels like it's gonna snap. So here we are, we're taking it out, and some bullet points there. So after a couple of times messing about, the fourth time you can see my receding hairline. Now you've got to push really hard on it, look. So I've lined up there. I'm thinking, why is this not going in? What's going on? So I give it a little twist and nothing, and then I gave it a push in. And then you got the heatsink on top. We put this in, very easy. Simply line it up, and in we go. In the hole. And now that we're just in it, we screw it up, which we have, all good. Messed around with that a couple of times, but obviously I wanted to shorten this video. Thumbs up. So now we're onto the case. Now we changed location, so we are running the Corsair 7000D airflow. Now the reason for this is from the first build, that beautiful Strix case, it's amazing, but it's got a glass panel at the front. Even though there's like enough for air to go through, my thermals, believe it or not, were still 60-70 degrees because of the lack of airflow. And obviously over time, that means the fans run louder. So this time I really prioritized purpose over aesthetic massively. You'll see later why I'm saying that. This has loads of airflow in it. You got the front that's mesh, you got the side panel that's got mesh, and you got the top as well. Massive amounts of airflow. So we went with it. We went with white because it was cheaper than black. It's a simple reason, not an aesthetic thing. You try and, even though it is quite a bit of money, you try and save money where you can at the end of the day. You don't want to you want to save every little pound. People might think that's quite ironic comparing the size of the thing. It also comes with 3 pre-installed fans, which I didn't use in the end because of an altercation, which I will go on to talk about in a minute. So we're just unwrapping it now, look. This case is really good. I can't lie to you. It's a little bit bigger than the Helios Strix, but the amount of airflow, which I'll go on to say later, it makes a massive difference to the temperatures. It's just amazing. It's phenomenal. It's a big case as well. So again, I'm thinking about future endeavors. I don't want to be, with the size of the graphics cards and stuff, you don't want to be getting into a situation where a couple of years down the line, the graphics card is way too big. So here we are taking the plastic off. Look, it's a nice case. You got that. If you look right in front, look, there's me running around the camera. You can see that piece of tape there in the case. That little panel comes out, and that's pure mesh, so you get more airflow. You put in the fans there, mesh at the front, mesh at the top, massive fans as well. You get a lot of airflow in it. So it's all about, for me this time, it's all about performance. I want it to be as cool as possible, as quiet as possible, and future proof for the future here. So here we are. This is the front of the case. It's quite big. Here we go. So you can see the front now as well. You got enough for 420mm fans there. Again, where this tape is, that comes out, and you got a mesh panel there that can have another 4 120mm fans. So you got 2 intakes, 320, 4. You can have up to 3 130mm fans at the top. But I went with 3, and you got there. So a lot of airflow. A lot of airflow, which again, it fits its purpose. It's, I want it to be quiet, performance. We're really going for performance this time. I've gone through that phase of a nice looking hardline PC. It's a pain to maintain. It's a pain to build. It's got no, other than aesthetics, it's got no real purpose. Do you know what I mean? So we went water cooling this time, soft tubing, so it's easy to maintain, upgrade, and look after. And again, I'll go on to what we do with the graphics card. But it's a really good case. So now we're going to install the motherboard. I'll tell you what, the only thing about this is the IAO shield goes way beyond the connectivity. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't even fit. You've got to give it it's a tight squeeze, a lot of pressure. This will cut a lot, but I got it stuck and I had to pull it, nearly took out the IAO shield. Obviously we made the jump, but now we've got it lined up. It's got a lot of pressure on it, and we're just showing you one screw. We put them back on because we was holding the motherboard, and we're sweating like crazy because we think we're going to break it, and the nervousness. So, but yeah, nice and delicately we're showing you one screw. We did do all of the screws, so there's no need to worry. I'm not planning on cutting any corners here, but this really shows you the size. You got how much space you got above the motherboard, side of the motherboard, underneath the motherboard. It's future proof. You get a lot of airflow. And okay, well, I'm showing you another screw. Yep, another screw in. My head's in the shot. You can see my new haircut. We're trying to hide that receding hairline at the front. You know how it is. And are we still going to show you? Yeah, we are. We are still going to show you you can see also, compared to the Maximus here, it's a lot simpler motherboard. Again, it's got all of the things you need. We are looking for more screws, I believe. The video does get a bit shorter in a bit, but I don't know why I've kept this on for so long. Am I wandering around looking for something, or is it? No, it's not. So we didn't get the first one in. Interesting. Is that because it's not lined up fully? I can't remember, to be honest, when I put this together. It's been a while since I've made videos as well. I'm sorry about that, guys, but we're going a little bit of a tangent here. I was in my 4th year university. We've now finished university, so working and all that time management. We will be coming back. I think before I like to do a lot in one go, get overly eager. So I think we're gonna go with maybe one video a week. And look, here we go. We've done it, and we're showing you. We've done all the IAO cables, and here we go onto the water cooling. Now it gets a bit better. So we plug in overclockers. We did order a lot from overclockers. It did come all before Christmas. We got a lot sending back as well. So we're opening the first box, and in here is the fans we're using. So we are using the Lian SL120 version 1 because they're cheaper than version 2, and they're just the fans. Now, I said I'm saving money where I can. The reason I got these fans is, one, they slide together. You'll see in a bit. They slide together, one cable. It's easy cable management. You want to make it as easy as possible, easier to work with. Now we're opening up the second box, and we've got the third set of fans. So again, we ran 4 120 at the front, 4 120 at the side. We ran 3 normal ones and 1 of these Lian Lees as a outtake of the back. So we're taking that out, and now we're getting all the water cooling. So you can see there we went with softline. We're showing you we went with softline, easier to maintain, prepare, make, and it's very easy. It's all about function. Now we're taking the radiators out. We got one 480mm EKS 480 in black. Look, I'm showing you S480. We went with the EK. The quality is insane. And it's actually cheaper than Corsair. And we went with a 420 as well, but there'll be a funny thing about that. I'll go on mention that in a minute. But but they were cheaper than the Corsair ones. We went with the Corsair XT5 RGB pump combo res. Then we got, what else we got in here? We got the two, we only got 8 fittings, all softline. Way easier. I'm never going to go back to hardline again. It's just, I've got to show you the XF compression. I'll tell you what, it's never been so easy. Even for we went for red liquid this time instead of purple. If you are looking to watercool, softline is so much easier. Anybody can do it, seriously. And finally in here we have the CPU Waterblock. You'll notice there's not a GPU Waterblock. Now, we're not going to watercool the GPU. The reason being, it's I'll go on to why, but the temperatures are amazing. You don't need to. So this is again the 480mm. So we didn't watercool the graphics card because honestly it doesn't go above 60 degrees even when you stress test it in any games. They are big, but the air coolers are so good on it you don't even hear it. There's no need to watercool it. And again, Boosted Media he even said the same. He's not going to watercool his Strix 4090. There's no point. There's no point at all. So we're not. So here we go. We're showing you lot. These radiators are, I can't believe the quality of these radiators compared to the Corsair ones, and they're cheaper as well. So as I said, they're cheaper, the quality is amazing, the finish is awesome. But again, I'll mention this new finish. I think this is a new radiator. The finish causes a lot of complications, a lot of headache. It looks amazing, doesn't it? It looks really good. But I'll go on to that in a minute. You'll know we had a lot of complications compared to what it said it was going to do. So here we go. We put 420mm fans on it. It comes out, the fan holders in the case come out as well, so it's so much easier. So as you can see, we've done that. Now we want to open the HydroX pump, and we're going to mount that onto the radiator because there's no other mounting, and it's the best way. So here we are. We're opening it up. And yeah, it's just, I didn't go for the flashy cut. I thought this time we'll go with a big video. But I'll go on to mention now actually why we're opening up this pump. The problem is these fans, because of the grey things, they're actually bigger and stick out more than a 480 typical fan. Now, this case was able to support a 480 in the front, up to 480 in the side, but not both of those together, and a 420 at the top. And you can do 420 and 480 in one go, so top and front. This is so heavy and so big that you can't put a full 120mm at the top because of how thick the bottom is and the top is because of that, and it makes it also stick out more, so it's not fully flush. So because of that, I've had to actually send back the 420mm and use a 360mm Corsair radiator that I had lying around. So that was one complication that we had, which is kind of a bit frustrating in the sense that I couldn't, we're lacking. But what I'll do is I can put in a 360 in the side and then a 120 at the back if I really wanted to in the future. But at the moment, I'm just water cooling the CPU, and I'm not being funny, but a 480 and a 360 is more than enough to do the system, to be honest. But this time I decided to stick with that. I think that's all I need now. And it's honestly, the temperatures are ridiculously cool. It's awesome. So as you can see now, we're reading the manual to look on how to mount this to the radiator. So we're looking around, making sure we know which one's the import, which one's the output. We have some RGB headers there, which we didn't plug in this time because it went long enough. And besides, I'm not really fussed about RGB. So we're loosening the cables here, as you can see. And I want to obviously make it at least look a little bit nicer with the cables. You don't want all cables hanging out everywhere. So we got the header going into the Commander Pro, and then we've got a power cable there. It's a different power cable. It's not a SATA port connector, so it's annoying. But again, your power supply comes with all of them. We did mention the power supply, but we have a Corsair 1500 watt power supply, and it comes with all the cables you need, especially with all this. What the cable this needs, Corsair's power supply has it, so it's pretty easy. So we're lining it up, we're giving it a good pull. I think this doesn't work out for me, I'm not too sure, so we decide to change it up. Yeah, look, it's too narrow, so we pull it out and we go from the side anyways. Okay, so they're quite nice cables, to be honest, as well. They're quite thick cables. So, you know, I had a good time. So, look, we're going through the bottom like that. And it lines up quite well. And then we turn it over and then we put in the screws at the back. So, the screws are, they're literally, what's it called? They're ones that you do with your hand type of screws. So, it's pretty simple to do. You don't really have any issues with it. Look, we're lining it up, making sure we're all good to go. I'm just a bit of a novice when it comes to this stuff, to be honest. It's been such long. I mean, I've used this in the previous build, but because it's been so long, like when I did that first build, I probably watched 1,000 Linus Tech Tip videos on how to build and everything. So this time I watched, to be honest, no videos, and I was like, I'm a professional, got the manual there. I just need a bit of brushing up. You can see. This is how it was for me. So we're screwing them in. Look, one in there. I got fat fingers, you see. So a lot of this is quite hard for me, actually. You know, with my massive fingers, we put in. I remember one thing from all the videos: always do opposite ends before you do the same side. So we're doing the diagonal look. We're running in the diagonal side. And I still can't believe I'm looking at this as I'm recording, and I've spoken non-stop for 21 minutes. That's mad, you know. I mean, I do like to talk, but I feel like sometimes you end up talking a bit too much, and you run out of waffle. So while we're doing this, I think it's good to talk about game. We'll talk about gameplay later, but surprisingly, the CPU I could only overclock it to 5.6 before it became unstable, or you were running ridiculously high current on it. So we got good current on it. I mean, we ran it on Cinebench, and typically the scores vary, but on average i9-13900K gets a multi-core score of about 39,000. I managed to undervolt it and run it at 5.6 gigahertz, all performance cores, and 4.5 on efficiency cores. We got about 41,200, so a good 2,000 more than stock. And let me tell you, when you run it normally with a normal cooler, it goes over 100 degrees. With my settings and running it full, it didn't go over 92 degrees, which sounds hot, but on Cinebench, that's very cool. And it doesn't go above 50 degrees when playing iRacing on crazy settings and whatnot. Funny enough, I did have an issue, actually. For some reason, when I'm running, I checked all the settings and everything. When I'm running windowed mode with no border or full screen, it's capped to 179 FPS, even though I've not got a cap on it. But and G-Sync's off, and when I run it with a border on it, we're getting what 4090 does give, because I'm running a 4090. It gets about 400 frames per second, so it's mad. So I'm running it now bordered, limited to 176, 4 below my refresh rate. But you can see how powerful it is. I actually haven't mentioned it, but I am running the MSI 4090 Ventus OC, which is the thinnest one. I remember a lot of people saying on the internet, oh, it's going to get so hot because the cooling on it is so small. It's like a 3090 cooler on it. So it's not as big as the 4090 ones. But with that cooler, it doesn't, again, it's not going above. When I benched it and played the hard games like Cyberpunk on crazy settings, it went to 61. When I'm playing iRacing, it doesn't go above 51 degrees. I think that's down to all the fresh air coming into the case as well. A lot of it, because of how the case is, you've got that swoop at the bottom, so it sends air underneath the graphics card as well, fresh air. So I'm getting about 51 degrees. I've overclocked my 4090. I got on the memory, I think it's 1500 plus 1500 and 165 on the core, or is it the way around? I don't know which one it is. I can't remember right now. So we have overclocked it as well. We're running 100% power at all times on it. And again, yeah, 51 degrees. We're getting on iRacing 400 frames per second, not in full screen or windowed mode. So it's a massive upgrade, because before I was running lower settings, not maxed out settings on everything bar crowds and stuff, and I was getting about 130 frames if that, and now you're getting like what 300 and something, 400. So to be honest, there's no need for upgrades anymore. I'm running triple 1440p monitors. There's no difference between that and 4K. So for me, this PC is like a final build type of thing. I don't need to go any higher than that. But now, as you can see, back to the story, we're looking at where to mount it. So we decided to mount it on this in the middle there, on the second, and it's actually quite close to me my graphics card when you put it in. But this is where we decided to mount it. Did use normal screws, so we're just doing that now. But yeah, seriously, I've done this build now, and the frame rates are ridiculous. You're not gonna get no issues with it now. I'm running everything high except crowds, they're off, and grandstands, they're off because there's no need for that. And sky I've run on medium because again there's no need for that. And I've taken off anti-aliasing, again trees and stuff. I've taken off the two-tone trees and all that stuff because again it's not needed. I don't notice that stuff. But everything else is running on high or ultra shaders as well, and it's 300, 400 FPS is insane. So it's it's a future-proof computer, and this time you can't hear a thing from it. It's mad the difference the airflow case makes, and obviously that many fans as well. You're just sucking in air very quietly, 700 RPM, and you can't even hear that on these fans, unlike the industrial fans I use. Big mistake. I thought more power, 3000 RPM on my last one would be amazing. Sounds like a jet engine on the minimum, on the lowest setting, which is 700, and it was loud. This time, nothing like that, and I'm pretty happy with the build. As you'll see the final images. It's beautiful. I can't lie, it is beautiful. Even though it's not hardline, it looks amazing. So here we are. I think I'm trying to cable manage it up. We're almost at the end anyways of this video, but I didn't run ACC yet, so the only games on this, to be honest, will be, at the moment it's iRacing, there'll be ACC and R Factor 2. Now, at the moment, you know, I've managed to sort out all my life, and I do miss making videos. You guys are awesome, by the way. 185 subscribers is insane from where I started. I've got to, after this video, I am going to make a updated 2023 room tour, gaming rig tour, because a lot's changed, positioning for starters. So I've moved it again to open my room up even further. I've made some alterations. That's going to be another video. Obviously, that is one of the best videos on my YouTube channel at the moment. 8.8k. Insane. If you haven't seen it, do check that out. And I think I definitely want to play a lot more offline, because one of my goals for this year is to use my 2-year membership on iRacing. Because instead of just burning myself out with trying to make content, I want to play weekly, enjoy myself off camera, and maybe make one video a week, maybe. At least we'll go for small steps. At least one a month or one a fortnight, I think. But most likely, I think I will be doing one a week. It's just I'll probably record one of my races in the week. I think this year I want to work on quality over quantity. Like I'm very proud of the, if you've not seen it, the HP Reverb G2 video. That was awesome. I took my time with that, and it's turned out to be a really nice looking video. And I'm sort of proud of this one as well. So I want to put out really good content rather than the volume, because we've already got amazing people that bring out volume. You got streamers as well. So I just want to do what I enjoy, and I'm enjoying. I was looking forward to making this video. I'm glad I made this video. I mean, halfway through this build, I decided should I carry on or not. As you can see, look, I'm trying to take off this wrapper. Not much wrapper on a lot of these things, because I tried to, didn't go for the top, because you don't really need the top, to be honest. And this is living proof, really, this build. I saved maybe £600 on a motherboard compared to getting the cheapest, the Maximus 790 Hero. So as you can see here, I'm showing you where the cables go. So the cable went under there. I think I managed to tuck it in, don't I? Yeah. So look, I managed to tuck it in through there. And then it goes through this little like gap in the white thing, the frame. So there's a gap in the front for the frame. Look, watch. I'll show you guys in a minute. Yeah, and then there's a gap there, and it just goes through. So yeah, that's done. Cable manage that up, and now we're putting in the fittings for it. Now, where I put the fittings now, I put 2 at the front, none at the top. But that was after. Originally I had 1 here, and then I had one at the top, but that changed. So they're both at the front now instead. So the way I'm pointing, I've changed that because obviously clearance was a massive issue. Massive issue. I'll tell you that for a fact. So now the two at the bottom there. And actually, it looks way better. It makes it even nicer loop than there, look. So we put those in. Again, but I tell you what, soft lining is so much easier than hard line. It's insane. It truly is insane. So we're taking out some more fittings. We've got to take out those blue things at the top of the radiator and put the two soft line fittings in there. So we're fiddling about. Oh, we're still putting in the end cap. Yeah, I forgot to put the end cap in. I actually forgot to put the end cap in at the back as well. So you don't see it, but I put it in realize, and then because of how hard it is to take it in and out, I've had to screw it off, put the cap in and screw it back on. My God, it was a pain. You think you got everything down, and then that just makes you nervous. You think you've forgotten something else. Is it going to leak? Have you forgot to plug in this wire? Have you broken this wire? It's so frustrating. But as you can see now, we're putting in the two fittings at the top. And honestly, guys, if you're looking to water cool, soft line, so much easier. I tell you, I couldn't tell you how many times I nearly gave up. 3 years ago when I built that computer, 3-4 years ago, I was going to pack it in because the bends and all this stuff, it's just a pain. I'm glad I chose this case because originally I was going to get the Lian Dynamic Evo, but everybody has that, and I didn't see the point in being like everyone. I wanted my own build. So as you can see, look, this is all put in, and then that tray just literally, that tray slides in. So we slid that in. Now we've got the CPU water block. We're going to mount that on. So we're going to mount it on now, look. We haven't opened the box yet still. It's a little out of focus, but it's because it's in manual focus mode. The camera has an issue where if you move out, it loses frame. So it's in manual mode, so it's designed anything on the table lock to be inside. So that's the XE7 RGB Pro, so it's already got the Intel mount on it. I'm just reading the manual to make sure, which is a pain. We're reading through it, look. I'm surprised I didn't cut this out, man. I don't know. I wanted a long video, I guess. So we read it now, look. And there it is. That just sticks on at the back and goes through the holes. And then we put the other side in. I don't have a video doing that because I, like a moron, I got too eager. And rather than doing this before when the motherboard was out, because it stuff didn't arrive, I put the motherboard in. So now I'm like, okay, well now I've got to do it. So I took off the sticky bits. Now I'm going to go put it on after I read the manual again. Which I don't know why I bothered reading the manual, but here we go. We read the manual, and here we go. And we've done it. We put that on. Now this is the side mount, this where air comes in. You'll see that later when the overall build is done. It's right at the beginning. So we put on 4 here, and now I can finally show you how much easier using these Lian fans are. I tell you what, I can't go back to normal fans. I mean, I'm surprised Corsair haven't picked this one up yet, or unless they've got it so that nobody else not a trademark on it. I forgot what the word is called for it, but they've got something on it so that nobody else can copy. But it's a game changer. 1 cable. So I got the 3 here, I think, and I needed the 4. Did I get the 4th one out? Or unless I would have got the 4th one out, I can't remember. So we're ripping them up, look. There's no cable on them. They have these like magnetic ends, look, that they slide onto. So they slide together. Yeah, that would have got 4 out, look. Just open them up, and then you won't believe this, how easy it is. It's insane. So we're opening the 4th one. It's taking a while, isn't it? Right, so you see the line up there. Make sure we got them the right way for starters. Yep, so you got one with the little dots on it and one with a thing. So you line them up, look. I don't know why I'm making it harder than it seems. It's not. It's just pretty easy. At this point, my hands are going flimsy. You know, it's been a long day. It's slides in. Right, next one. Line it up. Look, and this is a tree now. Slides in, look. And final one. And then all you got to do is get one of those cables, which you'll see in a minute. Look, line them up. Make sure they're all the right way. And that's it. You've done 4 radiators. You could technically just use 4 screws. I didn't do that. I was tempted to do that, but I decided against doing that. So we want it. I think we're trying to work out which way we want it, so that it's so that it's bringing air in. So it's that way. So then they're gonna bring air into the case as well. So you got 2, 4. Yeah, see. So that will be put in that way. So air's pushing, fresh air is being pulled in. Better cooling, and it's definitely made a difference. Now we're gonna screw them in. I hope I don't have that on video of me trying to screw this in. Do we? Do we not? I can't really remember, guys, if I got it. This video is getting long, so I think we'll do a cut here of me now finally having screwed them in. So we've screwed them in now. It's all good. It's ready. It's already done. We're just going to put them in the case. We got the one cable which I've now screwed in, and we are now good to go. Now, so we're on the final radiator. The radiator at the top. We're going to put that radiator in. So this is the Corsair 360mm radiator. Again, we've had to put this one in because the 420 just wouldn't fit because of those ends. It's just bigger than it is supposed to be, which it's not really a complaint. The quality is good, but I mean, when you've got cases where you're at the edge of the limit, you're going to have problems. So we're getting out the right, the right screws, and we're going to put on 3 normal Corsair fans. These are really good. Now, in the end, you see, we had a problem with the fittings because it's still so tight. I've had to actually take off one of the fans here. So we put on 3, but for the actual build in the end, we only had 2 on at the moment until we make some changes in a year's time. It doesn't make a difference anyways to the temperatures. It's not really made a difference at all. So I can't really say, oh, it's maybe affect my temperatures because my temperatures are so low anyways. But it's one of those things that when it comes to the yearly maintenance next year, I will definitely have to change some of the fittings or work something out so that I can have the 3 fans, because they look really good. They're really good fans. So as you can see now, we're screwing these in. So we'll make another cut because you don't need to see that happening. So cut to this being done. Right, so this is now done. Look, as you can see, we're putting the final screw. We had to take off that end fan near the ports because of clearance. So that is now done. I'm pretty happy with that. And we've got 2 360, a 480 cooling the CPU, and we've got a lot of intake to allow for this computer to be cooled. This is not frozen. Just letting you admire for a second all of this amazingness. And here we go. This is a put it on. So as you can see at the front, we got a nice 480mm radiator with the fan, the soft looping. Look how it's so much easier. And we've got the 4 there as well for intakes. We've got 2 intakes, 2 at the top. Look, we're missing a fan and a fan there. And this is keeping it less than 50 degrees. The air from the intake from the radiator and the 4 fans there is also going underneath the GPU. Look, you see this little like curve thing. Look, so the air actually goes underneath. So we get cool air to the GPU as well, and that gets out. So it's keeping the computer very, very, very cool. We'll put the red in. Look, this is the front, the 4 there. It keeps the computer nice and cool. So I think we're taking it off, so you can see the fans there, the 4 fans there. They're bringing in air. The back 4 are bringing in air. That again is enough to keep the thingy so cool. This is the back lock. Another 4 there. They're also bringing in they're bringing in pure cool air as well. That's mixing. So all this air is cooling the CPU and giving sufficient air. This is now all read out. It looks really cool. It looks really cool. I got some more edits in a minute. You'll see of it, but it's quiet. You can't hear it. The fans are spinning at 700 RPM, but you can't hear them. And the top 2, they're not even spinning. They don't spin because of Corsair. Look, they're not even spinning. And it's managed to keep everything so cool. Even when I'm playing, it's not spinning because the water temperature doesn't go above 20 degrees. It's keeping everything cool. It's that cool that the top 2 fans don't even run. That's how much all the other fans are working together, and that one fan in the back is enough. It doesn't even need to come through. So here we go. We're running 760 by 1440, medium, everything, cars, pit objects, events. It doesn't look too good in the video, but that's because I haven't done my OBS settings. We ran a limit here. But at the moment we're in full everything, ultra and everything. Now we're in, as you can see, we're in bordered mode. No, we're in a windowed mode, not full screen border. But for some reason it's limited to 176 FPS. Now when you click on that button there, border, it goes all the way up to 500 frames. What you get, you've seen Dan Suzuki's video, you get 200-300 in the benchmark, but it's limited for some reason. And you can see there that this is me now going in the new BMW LMDH around Daytona. I love this car. I'm still getting used to it, but it stays at 167 there. But for some reason, when I put this in boarded mode and still like this is after to check, I run it boarded, so it's all full. It's still running the same thingy. You get 300 frames, 250 frames, 300. Seriously, at some points 400 frames. It doesn't go down or anything. I just want to show you these laps now, look. So here we are. We're going around. My beautiful driving. But for some reason it's capped, and I can't figure out why. G-Sync's off, so it's not limited to that. I've checked all the settings. Some things, it's only when it's in full screen or windowed. But if it's got a border on it, it won't, and it'll be the frame rate it's supposed to be. But this GPU, again, like I said, now I'm running board. It's running 300 frames. I've limited it to 176, and you don't go anywhere near it. You got GPU to room, so to spare, a lot of GPU and CPU power to spare. The temperatures are below 50 degrees, and because of all that room you have, when you stream anything, there's no pressure on the GPU at all, so you can enjoy stutter-free gaming. And this is just, a lap around Daytona to show you, because normally we get about, in these settings, we get with lower settings with a water-cooled 3090, we get 130 frames, and it will drop down even more. This is when it was uncapped and that as well, and recording. Now you're getting 300 frames. Because you're going from a 10900K to a 13900KF is 8 cores to 24 cores, and that was running 4 something gigahertz on the cores. Now running 5.6 on the cores. You got more cores, higher frequency, which iRacing loves the bottleneck. You got 4090, which destroys the 3090. You can see Dan's videos to see the difference, and Will's videos, the boosted media. So just like Will said, there's no need to water cool the GPU, so I'm not water cooling that at all. That just means next year, in a couple of years, when the next GPU comes out, instead of having to do all this, hopefully you just have to plug out the GPU, easier to resell, put in a 5090 at the time. Now hopefully the 5090 is not going to be bigger on the cooling, because I've got issues then, and then I'm just going to have to. I'll probably get an FE card. Know me, I'll probably get an FE card, and then I can put that in a Waterblock straight away if we got issues with clearance. I mean, we shouldn't have issues with clearance, but that's in the future if we need to. But I'm pretty happy with the build. It looks awesome. You saw at the beginning, the video at the beginning. There'll be a video at the end now, what it looks like with all the colours and stuff. But I'm pretty happy. The performance is on par. It's definitely motivating. Racing now, you get higher frame rates, which, my monitors are the LG Ultra Gear, so they're 180 Hz, 1440p. So to be able to run native now on this, I assume ACC is the same, and R factor with the refresh rate of my monitors, it's pretty cool. Again, a video will come out of a new tour of the rig. You can see there's a different position, which will be for 2023. And hopefully a video a week will be coming out. I'm super excited. We should now be able to run VR. Now, we didn't run F1 2020 VR career mode because the horsepower wasn't enough for some reason to record in that. So this year, hopefully next year's game, we'll be doing the series in VR. A lot of VR. I'm hoping to do a lot of VR this year videos, especially with the new F1 season coming up. I'm looking forward to carrying on and completing the Who's Going to Get Pole series, so I'm excited for that as well. It's going to be hopefully a good year. There are some things I want to do. I plan hopefully one a week iRacing videos would be cool. Can I beat pole position for the F1 series when the new season starts in VR? That'd be really cool. I would really like to maybe do some LMH, some videos of daily races in R Factor 2 and ACC as well, which then adds up to a lot of videos, doesn't it, in a week? Some every now and again that would be nice, one every fortnight or something, couple of videos a week of quality content. I do miss making content, but I don't want to make content. This might not be straight away, maybe one at a time, because at the end of the day I do want to enjoy myself. I felt like towards the end of the last couple of years, because of that pressure to make content, I've been making less and less content. So I just want to enjoy racing again. I don't plan to do any endurance stuff this year. I just want to get down to frequently making content. I don't plan on streaming this year, just pure video creation at the moment. It's what seems to be working for me, considering work, gym, and all that other stuff. So I'm pretty happy. I think we are. I do appreciate everybody watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like these voiceover. I have decided to make a so thank you guys for watching. I'll talk another time. Thank you. Bye bye.